I'm so excited about today.
Your face has been frozen that way all morning. Also, political pop culture expert Mike Muse. Thanks for being here.
What's happening? Thanks for having me. I'm so excited, guys.
This is like the most happy I've seen you guys in a very long time.
It's so good. I love the Oscar nominations because like nobody's sad. Like at the Oscars, like 4 people have to lose for somebody to win.
Yeah.
Today, it's like 5 winners show up. It's great.
Let's talk about who some of those winners might be then. What are you guys most excited to see what the nominations for? Which category? Which people? Walt?
Oh, so Best Actress this year is a really terrific category. You've got Frances McDormand, who won for Fargo back in 1997. You've got Saoirse Ronan, who's really making another push this year.
Yeah.
It's just a really good category, and it's one of our most competitive that we still have because a lot of love has been given to a lot of actresses this year in that category. So it's always a fun one.
What about you, Mike?
Yo, Best Picture.
Yeah?
There is so many great films this season. I feel like these films really capture like the American construct and what's happening in our society, and I think it's a perfect representation of art imitating life, life imitating art, and it's such a wide range of films, from like art house to blockbusters potentials to unique subcategories such as Get Out of horror.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm really excited to see in what direction do we go in this year.
The Best Picture category feels different than it has in years past, right? Why is that? How did we get there?
I think it's because what society is calling for.
Yeah.
I think our society is very unique, and I think that films in Hollywood is finally recognizing the beautiful array of humanity and human condition and the human narratives, and I think we are finally seeing that reflected. And I think that because the Academy has opened up such unique diversity in their class that they've inducted, that there is now potential that we can say, you know what, now they may be open to a film like this to be nominated.
I don't think that you can understate the effect that the Academy opening up its doors to a broader segment of the filmmaking population is. I think that that's huge. I think that you're able to get voices that normally would have been marginalized. I think you're able to get films that normally would have been overlooked. I really think that the Academy has done a pretty good job, right, of taking a serious look at its membership, taking a serious look at where it stands in the industry, and really trying to address that and move the ball forward.
And a lot of that was as a result of the Oscars So White hashtag and movement, right? They were responding to people saying, we want something different, you've got to respond. Are we going to see that across the categories, do you think?
I think it's interesting, and shout out to April Rain, who actually started that hashtag Oscars So White. I will hope that we will see that because there is potential for diversity represented in each category, and so I'm hoping that the Oscars will kind of stick to that and be aware of that constitution that they have to really be reflective of the voting bloc that was in the Academy, but then the American population actually the global population that goes out and sees these films about like American story, life, and conditions.
This year I'm taking a close look at Best Actor, where we have again perennial favorite Denzel Washington, but also potentially Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. But also, don't sleep on Best Supporting Actress. You have some really terrific women of color who can really compete in there that year. From Tiffany Haddish to Octavia Spencer to Hong Chow from Downsizing, the best part of that movie. I think that those 2 categories in particular might be really good examples of the diversity of this Academy.
And really what you're going to as well, I'm hoping the surprise is going to be Dee Reese from Mudbound as director. She hasn't gotten a lot of the attention I think she deserves in some of the other award ceremonies that's been happening. But I'm hoping she's one of those surprise entries into the Best Director category.
And we know there have been some previous awards already handed out right across the board here. What are some of the indicators? What do we know moving into today's nominations that could kind of pan out here as well?
We do have some favorites. So it's interesting because of the Winter Olympics this year, awards that would normally be in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks were this past weekend. So through the Producers Guild and through the Screen Actors Guild, we kind of have some early favorites in a lot of categories. Sam Rockwell, Allison Janney, Frances McDormand, Gary Oldman appears primed for a coronation at this point.
Literally, and Allison Janney too. Pride. But you know what, Walter? What I'm curious about is to see what's going to happen with the film The Post. So The Post sent out their screeners almost too late to kind of be considered seriously for contention for some of these early award programs we've been talking about, Walt. They sent it out like a couple of days after Thanksgiving, which didn't get a lot of the voting time. Especially the SAG Awards, right?
Meryl Streep
did not get nominated at all. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen between Frances McDormand and Meryl Streep.
Now, is that purely a function of timing, though? They got them out late, and that's why they didn't get nominated? Or it's a pretty crowded field,
for the SAG Awards, only
6,000
people who can nominate for the SAG Awards, and it changes every year. But they got them to them, I think, November 28th. And then, the deadline to vote was December 13th. So it's not a lot of time right after Thanksgiving. You're going into the holiday rush season, the Christmas holiday parties, to actually watch screeners. So I'm curious to see the showdown between Frances McDormand and Meryl Streep for the Oscars.
So do Meryl and Tom get nominated today?
Tom is a maybe. I think Meryl's a maybe. She's on the bubble based on what we've seen.
In what year is Meryl on the bubble?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what's nuts.
What happened?
It's a great year.
I blame the studios for sending out the screeners late, man, because Mara was fantastic in that. Frances is fantastic too.
Absolutely, and Fox Searchlight made both The Shape of Water and Three Billboards. They were a distributor on both of those films, and both of those films have been just scooping up awards left and right. So those are the two front runners going into it already, and whatever their strategy has been, their rollout has been impeccable.
Okay, what one film do you expect to hear more than others across all the categories today? Is there one?
I think Three Billboards is a favorite.
I think Shape of Water.
I feel like we have to use the full title every time we say it.
At The Shape of Water?
Three Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yes.
Just every time we say it.
Yeah. I cut off at Three Billboards. I'm like, is it Missouri? Yeah. I'm like, it's way too much for me to handle at that moment.
Is it Ebbings?
Yeah. But I think that's a showdown between Three Billboards and Shape of Water.
That's right.
I'm actually rooting for The Shape of Water, but Three Billboards is winning in terms of the pre-awards.
And the sleeper here, Lady Bird. You haven't even mentioned Lady Bird yet.
And Dunkirk.
And
Dunkirk is a bit of sleep. There's not a lot of acting, shine in that movie, but it could get a lot of the technicals.
Beautiful
And the Florida Project, too, has not gotten a lot of attention, too, as well. That was a really cool film. And the little girl in there, she acted fantastic.
Is she nominated? She's not, is she?
I don't know if she's going to get it, but
has she been for anything yet?
No, she hasn't been.
All right.
Yeah, so
that's who I'm cheering for then.
But the
I got my one.
have nominated young actors previously around her age category, so this is an Oscar film. So we have to be mindful, like, what's a SAG Award film versus what's a Producer Guild Award film versus what's an Oscar Award film. And so something like a young actor is prime for the Oscar award, or at least nomination.
And Mudbound, we think, could also be another sleeper here?
Yeah.
We're not quite sure, right? All right, guys, we're going to watch right now. Let's go right now live to the Oscar nominations.
You open it, Doris.
All right.
The winner is?
And the winner is?
And the Oscar goes to?
The Oscar goes to?
And the Oscar goes to?
Good morning and welcome to nominations for the 90th Academy Awards. I'm John Bailey, Governor of the Cinematographers Branch and President of the Motion Picture Academy. This has been a remarkable year for the movies. Actors, writers, producers, and directors have given us films that not only entertain, but challenge us. There's been bold, adventurous work in animation, documentaries, and foreign language films. Visual effects, composers, and sound artists, production designers, editors, and cinematographers continue to raise the bar of their crafts, as do costumers, makeup, and hair artists. This is a landmark year to honor their achievements. Now please join me in welcoming our hosts, the irreverent star of Girls Trip, Tiffany Haddish, and Caesar from Planet of the Apes actor-director Andy Serkis.
Hey, good morning. It's an honor for us to be here for the announcement of the nominees of the 90th Oscars.
We're just seconds away from the first announcement. As part of this event, we're going to be showing you a few short videos to introduce some of the categories, like this one right here.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Production Design. Beauty and the Beast, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, and The Shape of Water.
to install a steam shower in my house because they look like I need one. Now it's time for our second category. For achievement in cinematography, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, and The Shape of Water.
Next are the creative geniuses who ensure that we actors dress the part and are never naked on screen. For achievement in costume design, Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul.
Now, let's see our nominees in the next two categories. Here are the nominees for achievement in sound editing. Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
And for achievement in sound mixing, Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
I gotta see this Dunkirk. It seems like a lot of people like it.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars: The Last Jedi could do with a bit of a hand as well.
I know, yeah, we gotta watch both of those. Let's keep up the pace. Next video, please. For Best Animated Short Film, Dear Basketball, Garden Party, Lou, Negative Space, and Revolting Rhymes.
And now, here are the nominees for Best Live Action Short Film. DeKalb Elementary, The 11 O'Clock, My Nephew Emmett, The Silent Child, and Watu Wote, All of Us.
The last category proves that length doesn't matter. And now it's time for our next category. For original score, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
And now, the next category. For achievement in visual effects, Blade Runner 2049, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes.
Without the masters of their craft in this category, the average movie would be like 18 hours long. For achievement in film editing, Baby Driver, Dunkirk, I, Tonya, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
And now, the final category in the first half of this morning's announcements. For achievement in makeup and hairstyling, Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul, and Wonder. We still have more nominee announcements, but we'll be back in a moment.
A 1.5-minute break? Do we get to take a nap?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Hey guys, Amna Navaz here with Walt Hickey and Mike Muse. Can we just all agree, by the way, like Tiffany Haddish should just announce everything
literally
for the rest of time?
Like literally.
She should be the host of everything.
Literally.
Yes.
And I think she should get an award just for what she's doing right now.
For this, right?
They're called Emmys. They're in September.
The best actor for Oscar nomination presentation goes to.
And like excellent
Tiffany Haddish.
enunciation on Missouri. People of Missouri,
Yep.
you should be very, very happy with that. Okay, let's get to who we've heard so far. I heard Dunkirk a lot. I heard 3 Billboards a lot. Any surprises in there? What stood out to you, Mike?
You know what actually stood out to me is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
He actually got the nomination for short animation.
Yeah, Academy Award nominee Kobe Bryant, also known for a career in something?
He did something
basketball.
else.
Terrific filmmaker.
One of the greatest of all time, and now an Oscar nominee to it. So for me, that was one of the biggest surprises for there.
Yeah.
I was really excited for the original score for Shape of Water. That's one of my favorites, so I think that one's going to be in there.
Yeah.
The surprise for me was I, Tonya for editing. I thought that stood out to me as well. I didn't see that coming.
And that was the only time we heard I, Tonya so far,
Yeah,
right? There's still
so
a whole
far.
list of nominees to come, so stick with us. Walt, you gasped when they did the cinematography category.
I did,
Why?
because Rachel Morrison has now become the first woman to be nominated for Best Cinematography at the Academy Awards. It's a huge thing. Again,
I mean,
so much
just that alone.
Yeah, let's just clap it up.
The idea is if you look at how movies get made, the behind the camera statistics are just awful. And so this is actually a really significant day. This is a pretty huge achievement. Mudbound has terrific cinematography. It's on Netflix. People can check it out there. But this is a big deal. Again, this is a history being made.
There you go. And everyone, as you said, walks away happy today.
Yeah,
right?
everyone's going to be happy today. I think for sound editing and mixing, I think Dunkirk is going to be one of the favorites for that. I think they were fantastic for that. So that stood out to me, too, as well.
Yeah.
And for visual effects, Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
I think hands down.
Yeah,
I thought
got a
it was
little dance from
hilarious
Tiffany
that-
too in celebration of her co-host.
Andy Serkis got to announce 3 of his own movies: Kong Skull Island, The Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God, he's
for
winning
the
right
Best
now.
Visual Effects Award. So he had a good morning.
Any that you guys didn't hear in there, you were surprised to not see in any of those categories so far? I know these are the big name categories too. A lot of people have been banking on, but anything stand out to you yet?
You know what? Actually, they were kind of on the money for me in terms of
Yeah?
these type of categories. For cinematography, I thought Mudbound was fantastic and was deserving of it. I love that Shape of Water. Shape of Water is a very technical film. It's very artistic, and as well as great acting. And so I'm not surprised we're getting a lot of these technical awards too as well, because it was so wonderfully made.
You know what I didn't hear? I didn't hear a lot of Call Me By Your Name. And that
Haven't
was a
heard it
film-
once yet, have we?
Yeah, and I think that was the one that could have gotten a lot of
yes.
production design, could have gotten a
Yeah.
lot of cinematography, even costumes.
Yeah.
It was in the mix for quite a bit of things, and the fact that it kind of got blanked, I think, it doesn't really bode super well for it.
Well, you brought that up really well. Actually, when I was watching Call Me By Your Name, I automatically thought, oh, this is getting nominated for cinematography.
It's a super pretty movie.
Really?
Yeah. Is it Call Me By Your Name? Not only is it a great narrative, I think it should get like the adaptive screenplay nomination as well. But it's done so well. It's like the scenery is like the
Anybody
secondary
hear much of
character.
The Post, by the way, too?
I didn't hear the post at all.
Exactly, yeah.
But maybe we see them coming up now. We've still got Best
I think
Picture,
it's
we've still got
big-
Best Supporting
yeah,
Actor,
trying to shine with that,
potentially.
yeah.
I promise you, the Post is not getting nominated for anything, and they get shut out of the Oscars. I'm gonna have a fit.
You're a fit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
right
a fit.
here.
Yeah, right here, right
Live-
now.
So stay tuned after the awards. Thanks for that.
I mean, if for
Entertainment
no other
man.
reason.
Yo, the Post needs something. Come on, Meryl. Like, what happened?
It's a crime against
it's
humanity
Meryl
if
Streep,
Meryl acts
Spielberg,
and is
Tom
not
Hanks.
Big
nominated.
hammy, though, you know?
No, like, it's so good. Meryl, I'm
Hey,
rooting for you, Meryl.
You guys stay
Meryl,
with us
I'm
right
rooting
here. We're
for
going
you.
back to the Oscar noms live.
What a great morning. Here we are, the nominees for performance by an actress in a supporting role. Mary J. Blige in Mudbound. Alison Janney in I, Tonya. Leslie Manville in Phantom Thread. Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird. And Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. Yeah.
For performance by an actor in a supporting role, Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project. Woody Harrelson in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins in The Shape of Water. Christopher Plummer in All the Money in the World. And Sam Rockwell in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Ebbing, Missouri. I said it.
For Best Foreign Language Film, A Fantastic Woman, Chile. The Insult, Lebanon. Loveless, Russia. On Body and Soul, Hungary. And The Square, Sweden.
documentary short subject, Edith and Eddie. Heaven is a traffic jam on the 405. Heroin. Knife skills. And traffic stop. All these titles make a woman from an urban area very uncomfortable. I'm just saying.
No, I'm totally up with you. For Best Documentary Feature, Abacus, Small Enough to Jail. Faces, Places. Icarus. Last Men in Aleppo. And Strong Island.
For original song, Mighty River from Mudbound. Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name. Remember Me from Coco. Stand Up for Something from Marshall. And This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
For Best Animated Feature Film, The Boss Baby. The Breadwinner. Coco. Ferdinand. And Loving Vincent.
Here are the nominees for Adaptation Screenplay. Call Me By Your Name, James Ivory. The Disaster Artist, Scott New Standard and Michael H. Wilbur. Weber.
Yeah.
Weber. Logan Scott Frank and James Mangold and Michael Green. Molly's Game, Aaron Sorkin. And Mudbound, Virgil Williams and Dee Reese.
For Original Screenplay, The Big Sick, Emily V. Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani. Get Out, Jordan Peele. Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig. The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor. And Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Martin McDonough.
For performance by an actor in a leading role, Timothy Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis in Phantom Thread. Daniel Kaluuya.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya.
Yeah, you know it. He know his name. And Get Out. Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour. And Denzel Washington in Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
And for performance by an actress in a leading role, Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand in Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Margot Robbie in I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan in Lady Bird. And Meryl Streep in The Post.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Directing. Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan. Get Out, Jordan Peele. Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig. Phantom Thread, Paul Thomas Anderson. And The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. You want to do the big one for the best picture?
Well, I think we should both do it. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
You don't know me that well. You don't know me at all. And finally, here are the 9 films selected as Best Picture nominees. Call Me By Your Name, Peter Spears. Luca Guadagnino and Luca Guadagnino, Emilia George, and Marco Morabito. Producers.
Darkest Hour, Tim Bevan, Eric Fellner, Lisa Bruce, Anthony McCartan, and Douglas Urbanski, producers.
Dunkirk, Emma Thomas, and Christopher Nolan, producers.
Get Out, Sean McKittrick, Jason Blum, Edward H. Ham Jr., and Jordan Peele, producers.
Lady Bird, Scott Rudin, Eli Bush, and Evelyn O'Neill, producers.
Phantom Thread, Joanne Seller, Paul Thomas Anderson, Megan Ellison, and Daniel Lupi, producers.
The Post, Amy Pascal, Steven Spielberg, and Christy McCaskill-Currig, producers.
The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro, and J. Miles Dale, producers.
And 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, Graham Broadbent, Peter Zernin, and Martin McDonough, producers.
You know. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this morning, and congratulations to all the nominees.
And make sure you watch as we celebrate the 90th Oscars Sunday night, March 4th on ABC.
Oh my gosh, you guys, if you could have heard the yelling in this room, those are the 90th Annual Academy Award noseminees. First of all, this entire room was just screaming, Meryl!
They listen to it. Osmosis. Osmosis.
So was that a surprise?
Nominations for Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
I mean, my God. It's unbelievable.
How angry would you have been?
I told you, I would have been angry. I would have been angry if she was not nominated.
We would have gotten a fit. And now we don't get a fit. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Start with supporting actor.
Yo.
What do you think? We got Sam Rockwell, Willem Dafoe, Woody Harrelson, Christopher Plummer, and Richard Jenkins. Who's not in it?
Plummer's a surprise.
Plummer's
right?
definitely a surprise.
Yeah, he'd always been on the bubble. Armie Hammer kind of seemed to be going in for that 5th slot, so
Yeah.
a bit of a surprise for Plummer.
I thought Army would have got it, but this is
Yeah.
Sam's year. Sam Rockwell, he
3
got
billboards.
it, 3 billboards.
And
He did a
Plummer, by the
fantastic
way,
job in that film.
Let's not
actually.
forget, he stepped in,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
No,
he
they
did.
This was for the
yeah.
role that Kevin Spacey had to leave.
He sure did.
Chris Plummer stepped in there.
stepped
All the
up.
money in the world.
So you know what? I take that back. I
Do you?
wonder will the Oscars give some type of lenience or like a factor, like an X factor for like stepping in last minute,
Right.
I mean,
and delivering a great role.
We saw with
to
Leo
this
that
role.
they really consider the conditions of the shoot to be a
Yeah.
component of your campaign, so
Yeah.
maybe there's that.
And that's gonna be
Alright.
the narrative too.
Yeah.
Supporting actress.
Crazy category. I love a lot of these. Octavia Spencer got in. Tiffany Haddish, who obviously was announcing, did not. Missed the two big snubs here are Hong Chow from Downsizing and Holly Hunter from The Big Sick.
But the big one is Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
My God. Like, Mary J. Blige is an Oscar nominee. Like, normal drama, What's the 411? Like, Mary J. Like, from Yonkers.
I think it's like an,
Mary,
an unspoken American rule.
Like,
if Mary can be nominated, she should be nominated.
You know what's so interesting, though,
whatever
about,
she's doing.
And I wonder if some people may question her nomination, but when you think about it, Mary's always been an artist. When you listen to her music, she's very theatrical, she's very vulnerable in all her music, and so why wouldn't that transfer over into the big screen? So I'm really happy for her.
She's wonderful, and Laurie Metcalf gets a really deserved nomination, and Allison Janney again is at the top of this class.
I mean, but Allison's just a favorite. She did a fantastic job tonight, Tanya.
National treasure. Let's talk about the other acting categories now. Best actor.
Franco.
Someone got snubbed.
Yeah.
Is that a big deal? Did you really thought he was going to get nominated?
He had the same odds of breaking in. The odds makers were giving him of winning as Daniel Day-Lewis. When you have the same odds that bookies are giving you as Daniel Day-Lewis, he's in the mix. And I mean, it's a snub. It seems it's an interesting category because you'll remember that the people who nominate the categories are the people in their group. So cinematographers select cinematography nominees. Actors select acting nominees. And I think that we saw over the past couple weeks, they're one of the most female branches of the entire Academy. And so as a result, the allegations that have been in the news about James Franco may have had a pretty significant and instantaneous effect.
Oh, 100% that had an effect on him.
You think so?
James Franco, when you set aside the personal dynamics with him, he is one of the fantastic method character actors like of our time. He's right up there to become the next Daniel Day-Lewis in that style of acting category. So no question that definitely hurt him along the way. But that's actually going to be a really great category. I'm actually excited for Timothée Chalamet. I think he's fantastic. And let's give it up for Daniel Kaluuya. Like, I am so excited for him. Like, his character and what he did, and it's almost the same way I like him as the reason why I like Meryl. They kind of have these subtleties with their acting, right? It's like the nuances, right? It's like how he picked up his camera in Get Out, right? The same way how Meryl picked up her glasses, right, to observe the piece of paper. So his subtleties, his nuances, to really nail those type of what could be boring parts was just fantastic for him.
And DDL in here, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yep.
Could be his last nomination, maybe? I don't know. You don't seem to buy it.
I don't buy that. No,
He's not retiring?
No, I think
think so neither.
Retiring and then he gets a nomination. I think he's going to be just fine.
But, you know, honestly, I
think he's going to be okay, all right?
He's calling in for more money and more Oscars. I actually was relieved when Denzel's name got called. I was nervous for him.
Really?
Because I believe that a lot of people didn't see Roman Israel. And my concern was if they don't see it, then they wouldn't see his performance. The movie wasn't that amazing, but his performance was spectacular.
That's what we've heard again and again, right? It's not a great movie, but it's a great performance.
No Tom Hanks in this category.
Yeah, and I thought that was very interesting too as well. I gotta be honest, and watching the polls, I wasn't that impressed with Tom Hanks' performance. That may be blasphemy, but I just
listen. You can take the Twitter heat for that one.
Yeah. Twitter.
Where can we find you? What's your email address?
I am Mike Muse. I'm not afraid of you. I love you, Tom.
Bring it. Best actress though. Whew.
Wow.
Meryl, thank goodness. Saoirse Ronan, Frances McDormand, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, and Sally Hawkins, Shape of Water. That was one of your favorites.
Surprise. Outside of Meryl, like she was on the bubble, and she got inside the bubble. Judi Dench was on the other side of the bubble, as is Jessica Chastain to a degree from Molly's Game. But I would say that's not a super unexpected category.
No, not at all. It's coming down once again. I'm excited for Frances McDormand and for Meryl Streep to go head to head because we didn't get the chance to see it during the SAG Awards. We saw it in Golden Globes. They were for two different categories for the Golden Globes, so we haven't had a chance to go head to head, and so I think it's anyone's Oscar in that category.
Okay, so we were all taking furious notes during the original screenplay nominees. What a dope category. That was a good mix of people and stories represented there. We had The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards.
That's a good category.
Those are all great categories.
That's like an all-time category.
That's going to be one of the most competitive categories of it. And how about, I mentioned Dee Reese earlier in the program, the surprise for Best Director, but she gets nominated for Best Screenplay. And so she's going to get her chance to be nominated, so I'm really excited for that one.
Shout out also to the adapted category. James Mangold got nominated for Logan.
That's a big deal.
That was a surprise for that one, too.
Really?
As well.
Why is that surprise?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one. Honestly, I'm sorry, my excitement from screaming, my earpiece is messing up. I'm sorry, John. You did a great job setting me up, and I am really messing up your work right now. But you know what? Kind of what Tiffany Haddish was saying, too, as well. I got to watch Dunkirk, no lie. I've had the chance to watch this on my airplanes traveling back and forth to LA, and I've always
that's a horrible
said
place to watch Dunkirk.
Yeah, I'm like,
no, sir. Please don't watch Dunkirk on an airplane.
No. Now I'm like regretting not not spending those 6 hours
You wanna watch
watching like
You can just break
Dunkirk.
it up over time.
Yeah,
right?
that's the
watched
only
it on a
movie I
cruise.
did not watch. is
Really?
Dunkirk. I did not watch
It just
Dunkirk.
didn't pull you in. What
It's
happened?
Not at all.
short.
I'm
It's
like,
like an hour and a half.
I'm like, what did he Saving Private Ryan? You've seen all those type of movies, right? And I did see The Darkest Hour, and they covered Dunkirk, you know, for like 5 minutes.
It's got
And so I'm
Dunkirk
like,
in it.
I'm good, right? I get it. Like, I don't know if I can see 2 hours of like Dunkirk,
The World War II cinematic universe.
Yeah, like I'm thinking about Saving Private Ryan. I'm thinking about Gary Oldman, The Darkest Hour. I'm like, I get you, Dunkirk. I
Wait, did you
get
see
it.
The Darkest Hour, though? You did?
I did.
You just, okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
And is Gary Oldman going to run away with that then?
Run away. Yep.
Yeah, this is his category. I'm happy Denzel got nominated. He deserved to be nominated.
Yeah.
But Gary Oldman loses himself in Winston Churchill. Like, I couldn't even separate anymore between when Churchill began and when Gary ended. So it was really, really fantastic.
Best Picture.
Woo!
Great category.
Yeah? Who
Yeah.
do you like? Who surprised you? Who got snubbed?
Surprises were Phantom Thread and Darkest Hour.
Surprises?
Yes, those
Okay.
snuck up. They were, again, they haven't had a ton of love, at least on the picture
Yeah.
circuit, in
Yeah.
the predecessor awards. Other movies that kind of missed out, I mean, there's a fine, I mean, Mudbound to an extent. Blade Runner 2049 seemed to get a ton of the technical awards, but did not seem to get any love in above the line. The Big Sick, Molly's Game, and I, Tonya were the ones that I have on here as being on the other side of the bubble.
It didn't make it.
But
Yeah.
these 9 are a solid 9.
They're
I
a
was
solid
really impressed
9.
with this year.
This could go either way, guys, because Call Me By Your Name, people didn't expect Moonlight to win.
Right.
Right? They were going up against La La Land. And Call Me By Your Name is of that same art house, very artistic, just as well as Get Out is very art house artistic.
Right.
Just as well as Lady Bird is art house and artistic. But what's interesting about these quote unquote art house artistic film, there also is a commercial viability with it, right?
Yeah.
It may not have had commercial blockbuster success, but it still is general enough that the general public could latch on to these storylines. So I think this one is a toss-up. I don't know.
There's usually overlap between Best Director and Best Picture, right? And there's
Yeah.
not with Call Me By Your Name. Does
And
that
also,
matter?
the director didn't get nominated at all, and I thought he
Yeah.
did a fantastic job. Lucas, right? Lucas did a fantastic job with
Yeah.
that. But they also got snubbed for cinematography too, as well. And
Yeah.
so,
But all the directors
Yeah.
have their movies nominated for Best Picture in this one. Greta
Yeah.
Gerwig, Jordan Peele, Christopher Nolan, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Benicio del Toro, who is an early favorite in that category.
yeah.
But
But
yeah.
Guillermo del Toro though
Yeah.
is just my God. And can we just
It's so
really
sweet.
talk about like the elephant in the room that isn't the elephant in the room anymore? Is how diverse this Oscar class is.
Absolutely.
And I think that Oscars now is trending diverse.
Yep.
Right. And I think like that is exciting to
But
see.
for all
in
that
these
diversity,
categories.
just look at the directing category.
Yeah.
Only Greta,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's a
better
big
than
deal
the
for
Golden
her.
Globes, though. There was
Yes.
nobody in the Golden Globes,
Yeah.
right? And so that's the other thing. And also, too, we're overlooking something, too, as well. Sorry to be yelling. I'm so excited.
It's
Sorry,
great.
Cat. I'm, like, screaming in here. The control room is freaking out right now.
They're riding your
Like,
audio in there.
they're
Let's bring
like,
Mike down a little
Lori's
bit.
Mike
Just bring him
always.
down just a
Lori-
bit.
He's coming in hot, guys. Is for original song. I mean, we have Common and Andre Day for Stand Up
Yeah.
and Marshall. So we get a chance to see Common get a second nomination for his Oscar. I mean, what a ride he's having. Mudbound also, too, with Mary J. Blige, with Mighty River. I mean, it's just like unbelievable. So diversity has been like really spread
Yeah.
throughout this entire way. It's
Even-
really interesting.
Even in the animated category, Coco
Yeah.
is a song about a
Yes.
Mexican American fan, and again,
Yes.
Latino representation has been awful in Hollywood for
Yeah.
the longest time.
I
So-
have to ask you about animated feature.
Yeah,
Because
of
there's
course.
no, I mean, you were happy this morning. You always walk in smiling on Oscar noms day, but like the animated feature category comes on and you light up.
I do.
You love this
Because
category.
the animated feature category is hilarious because it's always like a Pixar movie, like a couple like other CGI movies, like a really contemplative. This year it's Loving Vincent, a really contemplative, like arty kind of movie.
Yeah.
And then like just like a long shot, like The Breadwinner this year has gotten some love in some critics awards, but like
Yeah.
it's a critically darling, but nobody has kind of seen it. I think it's a foreign animated film,
Mm-hmm.
but. I loved Coco, and also got a nomination for Best Song.
Yeah, it
so
did.
Right.
I don't know. I think
Did you
that
see
it's
the
gonna be-
Vincent thing?
Loving
I did
Vincent?
not.
It seems so dark for animation.
Well,
just by the
they
cover.
always
I
do
haven't
that.
seen it. The
It's
cover
great.
seems really dark.
It's one of my favorite things about it.
I'm like, who is watching a heavy animation?
Okay, joining us on the phone right now. Obviously, we have no idea what it's like to be nominated, but one man who does. Joining us live on the phone right now is supporting actor nominee Willem Dafoe for his performance in The Florida Project. Mr. Dafoe, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Tell me what it feels like to hear the news.
It feels good. I had a restless sleep last night. I was aware that they were announcing this morning, and I got up early. I often do, but it's good news. I'm very happy.
Now tell me where you are right now, how you took in the news. Are you in your pajamas in bed, just watching, obviously, our live stream? But how did you hear?
More or less. I woke up early. I did some things. I just got into New York from Los Angeles last night, late. So got a short sleep, a restless sleep, and it's just a good morning.
What attracted you to a film like The Florida Project?
Many reasons. Sean Baker is a great filmmaker. I liked how he was going to shoot the movie, shooting it in an actual motel that really reflects the story of that we were telling, a good mix of fiction and using the real location. It was a beautiful script and revealed a world that I really didn't know.
William, one, congratulations. I am a fan of your work, a fan of this film. It's fantastic. You're so deserving of it. The question I have for you is that your cast was a very young cast, and you interacted with them so seamlessly. You actually gave them the respect as an actor, I felt. What did it take for you to get into character, to interact with a child on that type of level?
You know what? I enjoyed them. They were good kids, and the director also set them up to make it not work, make it play. Set them up to play to their strong suits, and I just had a good role. My job was basically to take care of them, and what my role was in the movie paralleled what my role was as an actor in that company. I really had to fit in. I had to make things go smooth. It was a real pleasure. I learned a lot from those kids.
And Willem, obviously you are incredibly deserving of this nomination. A lot of people were also talking about your co-star, this lovely little lady who steals a lot of those scenes. Do you think she got snubbed?
She's fabulous. Listen, she's going to have a long career. She'll be around. She's a natural performer. She's smart. She's talented. So we'll see more of her. Yes, it would have been nice for her to be nominated. But, it didn't happen. It will happen another day and another movie.
Yeah. Willem, before we let you go, I'm just curious in terms of what do you hope is a takeaway from this film?
Well, I think, it's just a basic wake-up of our how we are connected, and we have to take care of each other, because the world that we show is really like a microcosm. It's like a little society, and you really see, particularly from my point of view, from my character's point of view, that his happiness and his well-being is dependent on their well-being, and vice versa. And it's a very kind of unsentimental, tough, practical way to recognize that.
And Willem, last question again. Now, over the last few years, there's been an incredible push for Hollywood to increase the diversity when it comes to the kind of films and the kind of talent that they're recognizing. This year's list, by all accounts so far, looks to be among the most diverse. I just wonder how you're processing that, what your take on that movement has been.
Well, a lot is going on, a lot of change, a lot of talking about looking at things differently. I think it's good. I mean, I feel when I'm reading scripts and when I'm approaching projects, I have a different mindset, and I'm starting to question certain things that I took for granted before. So change is good, change is painful, change is interesting. So I think there are some important discussions going on, and I think film will be better for it.
Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations again on the nomination, and we'll all be watching the awards. Willem Dafoe.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Willem.
So Florida Project, one of those films, again, not a lot of people heard about, but just a beautiful, warm, heartbreaking kind of story.
It really is. And it actually humanizes the characters in it, right? And so this mother, she's under-resourced. By all accounts, she lives on the fringes. She's one of the outliers. She's probably one of the individuals that a lot of Americans will walk by and will blame her for her circumstance and blame her for being such a bad mother. But when you see her interact with her child, you see how much love that is there. And so you think about how love is unconditional in spite of your circumstances, and you may be bad in other areas, but you can still, that doesn't take away you being a great parent.
I will point out that the Florida Project is from A24, the same studio that brought us Moonlight from last year, and films that they've had a really good run lately.
Yeah.
Especially kind of telling the stories that don't necessarily get told.
Yeah.
Interesting you brought that up, because when I was saying that, I was thinking about Naomi and the character in Moonlight.
Yeah.
Naomi, I think the reason why she won is because she brought so much to that character. We have seen so often this crackhead mother portrayed in the film, but we never see the nuance of this crackhead mother. And so we see in Naomi jealousy, we saw insecurity, but we saw love. We saw how she ended up her plight. It's the exact same character of this mother in this film, The Florida Project. You see that human nature of what it is, in spite of, you may want to call Child Protective Services on her, but that doesn't take away the love that she has for her child.
Right. The nuance that's going in there, right? Okay, we got to talk about this too, because you mentioned Moonlight last year. No one has forgotten where they were in the moment that the Best Picture category was announced. They have put into place a whole host of new steps to try to safeguard against that, but my gosh.
That was the craziest thing that I've ever seen televised.
Yeah,
like, that was up there. Like, that happening is like remotely unprecedented. That like the correction that happened, it's still like shocking to this day, and I don't think that we're ever going to have an Oscar ceremony where we don't like look back at that as one of the craziest moments.
I mean, is everyone going to be just biting their nails right until the last minute?
No,
like, is it the right? Is it the right envelope?
It's more like, should I leave? Is it okay to leave? Right? Is the lights going to come back on? Like, what do we do? I'm actually curious. I was actually shocked that the Oscars stuck with PricewaterhouseCoopers.
I was very surprised
at
that.
I know they've been with them for 80 years, but I was shocked by that. And what's interesting is I saw that they're actually bringing back the gentleman who used to be with them, who's done the Oscars for 14 years previously. He wasn't part of last year's debacle, but I was so shocked that they're still letting them handle that. But to be fair, the Oscars nominating process and voting process is a very complicated, formulaic thing, and so maybe they may onboard someone down the road and they have more time to systemize everything.
I'm available. I'm just throwing it out there. Academy, I'm available. I've
Tweet
got
at Wally Whiskey?
At
No, that's
Walton,
no.
That's my Instagram. At Walt Hickey.
Okay, wait. Before we go, I have to ask.
It's accounting. I get the Tom Hanks haters.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, and all the Missouri, from Missouri too. We got to talk about this too. We've seen the effect the Me Too movement has had on Hollywood, on the award ceremonies. Are we going to see that represented at the Oscars too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. In what way?
So especially you look at the women who have been nominated. Many of them have been very outspoken. Again, Streep for quite a long time in her career is a terrific example.
Yeah.
Again, these are very strong women who have been nominated. You finally see behind the camera recognition. I think whether it's Me Too or whether it's Time's Up, which I think has a lot more like organized structure. It appears specifically within the industry. I think that is absolutely going to be a topic this year. I think the Winter Olympics has really messed up the schedule for the Oscars a little bit, as it does every 4 years. We have a lot of awards early, and then we have the Oscars quite late. So I think that the momentum is going to be continuing. Whether it continues over the next couple weeks, I don't know how visible it will be, but it will be very visible on the red carpet.
What do you think, Mike?
I think the same thing. I think not only is it going to be on the red carpet, but also I think in terms of the presenters. And so I'm curious to see who the presenters will be. I think it's going to be very female dominant, and I think that it should be. I believe that this issue needs to be continually pressed, and I think what better time when you have such a captivated audience sitting at one time. We're going to have a lot of viral moments, a lot of social media moments that can live on afterwards. I think it's really important. But I also think it's important too for the Oscars to have diverse presenters as well to be reflected, to keep the Oscars so white. Reminder, right, that we don't want to go back to that. We want to be able to consider other people. Right. I mean, it's an interesting selection. They had Tiffany Haddish do the presentation because there was talk that she had been nominated, but then it went to like what is a comedian, what is an actor, and then more particularly what is a black female comedian, right? We've seen other white female comedians be nominated or be considered in talk, but Tiffany wasn't. And so I think having her there do the nomination this morning is a reminder of that, in terms of there's still work to be done, right? And to keep looking at, and also too, and not be lazy. Actually watch those screeners. When you're part of the Academy, your job is to watch the screeners, right? Just if there was some pushback, I don't know the validity of it or not, but some were saying the Golden Globes, the foreign Hollywood press didn't even see Girls Trip, right? And so I think just be mindful and watch the screeners, and so I think it's important.
Hollywood Foreign Press is one thing, but to go back to the Golden Globes briefly, like what Natalie Portman did was very courageous. Right before announcing the director category, point out that it is all male, and I think that goes exactly to your point, that the presenters are going to be on top of this, the folks on the red carpet are going to be on top of this. People are talking about pay disparity on the red carpet these days, and that's the kind of issue that will really move the ball forward on this.
And instead of just asking people, who are you wearing? Say, what were you paid? And what was your male co-star paid? Let's talk about it right here.
And you're both repped by William Morris. How does that work?
But that is the role of pop culture, though, right? It's to agitate conversation, right? To push push the envelope on social issues and social construct
why you
and
have the
politics
Oscars.
and policies, right?
If the best movie was determined by box office every year, you wouldn't have the opportunity to have these kind of conversations.
It's very true. And you can't ignore the world around you, right?
No, you can't.
Artists can't, we hope you don't either. Mike Muse, Walt Hickey, thanks for being here. You can watch the Oscars right here on ABC on March 4th. It's the 90th Annual Academy Awards coming up very soon. Thanks for joining us, guys. For now, I'm Amna Nawaz, and I'll see you back here soon.
Great job, Amna.